Chapter 23. Self-esteem. Coming to love yourself. Do you like yourself? No, really. Take a moment and listen to the question deeply. Do you like yourself? All of you. Your personality, your weight, the way you show up in the world, in the many roles that you have. But even more importantly, do you like yourself when you wake up in the middle of the night? Do you like yourself in the middle of a struggle? When you are alone? When you are in a group? Here's a little secret. Most of us do, but many of us do not. We don't like ourselves. It's epidemic. I had lunch the other day with a long-time dear friend. I've known her for over 22 years, closely, deeply, personally. She confessed in our time together that she really did not like herself. In fact, she wondered even why she was on the planet. Instead of liking herself, she said she despised herself. Wow, I thought, that's so curious. I wonder what caused that. Then I wondered what the impact of having those feelings had on her life. So we explored it. I dove deep and she was willing to go with me. Why? What does that mean? Where did you realize this about yourself? We will call her Lily for privacy's sake. Lily told me about how over the past year she had become less and less content with her life. She recalls being very content, sitting on her porch, enjoying life to the fullest. Then one day she woke up filled with discontent. I asked her what had happened during that year. She had become a full-time caregiver for a member of her family who was quite possibly terminally ill. That family member is now returning to health and vitality, and just in the few days prior to our conversation had moved out of Lily's home to return to her own after nearly 10 months of intense medical intervention. Basically, Lily had lost herself to the point that, in her words, she had discovered that she was a fake. That virus went so deep that it was threatening her well-being and her very health. She found herself to be fake in her relationships, in her life, in every way, and it was killing her with shame and embarrassment. In fact, in our time together, it was the first time she had ever said that out loud. Instead of going into the gory details of Lily's experience, take a look at your own life. Are there ways that you feel fake? Are there places that you know you withhold from the world to keep the peace, to not rock the boat, to maintain status quo? I'm sure there are, and in fact, I see a place I can look at within myself. When we walk through life, and especially when we walk through tough situations, we take on patterns and habits and ways of being that are designed to protect us, that are designed to get us through the rough times. They are barriers. They are cloaks. They are buffers to the deepest, darkest fears and emotions that we are not able to process through in the midst. This is designed on purpose, and it is a good design. The problem, however, is that when the immediate stress or danger is past, we don't go back and remove the protection. We keep layering on top of it. Eventually, we have so many layers on top of our essence, we can't remember who we are. How do you begin to remove these layers? First of all, if you are in or have been in a particularly traumatic situation, get the professional help you might need. We are not meant to walk through trauma alone. See a therapist, a minister, a counselor, or other trained professional to help guide you through. Who are you? Where are you? I coached Lily to begin exploring the dark and shame-filled places, the very ones that threatened to drown her. I offered to be her lifeline as she took those first steps to discovering who she really is. We have to unpack what is packed down into the subconscious. We have to pull the weeds out of the garden plot before we can plant the plants we want there. I remember living in Arizona many years ago. I had bought a cute little house with a beautiful but small yard. I kept it nice and neat and groomed. However, I had one side of the house that was narrow. Between the house and the cinder block wall, there was perhaps 8 feet. I didn't use it, didn't pay any attention to it at all. It was dirt and not of much use. One day, I went over to it and noticed that the small weeds that had covered the ground had grown to the tune of 4 feet tall. My side dirt patch had become a jungle of weeds. It was crazy, and I didn't really see it coming. Can you imagine that I wanted to now plant roses in that area? Could I simply dig a hole in the weeds and plant a bush? Of course it was possible, but would it grow and thrive? Most likely not. First, I would need to clear out the jungle, not only by cutting down the 4 feet tall growth, but also by removing the roots and caring for the soil. The soil in this example is the soul and the subconscious. It is extremely difficult to plant a rose garden on top of a jungle. It is extremely difficult to plant new beliefs of self-love and appreciation over shame, guilt, and deep, dark fear. It is quite possible, however, to remove the weeds of shame, guilt, and fear, freeing the area and clearing the field, tilling the soil for the highest likelihood of harvest. How do you clear it? First, know that it is there. Oh, my, look at my weed jungle. Release judgment of it. You can beat yourself up, feel embarrassed about it, and guilty for not handling it earlier, or shame even. Or you can simply accept that it is there, and now you see it. Once you see it, you can now begin to clear it. One simple method of clearing is likened to clearing out a garden. Please remember, if you are stuck here, it may be very important to have some professional assistance. This is my specialty, and you can find my contact information at the end of the book. My signature system quickly, easily, and gently removes lifelong limiting patterns and beliefs and dissolves invisible glass ceilings so you can have the clarity, confidence, and clear direction to live the life of your dreams. Back to Lily. As she is willing to tell the truth that she despises herself and she is a fake, she's empowered to begin the clearing process. Oh, look, here's a waist-high field of weeds. Let's clear it out. Yes, I am making light of the scenario. In part because this is such a serious challenge for many of us, but bringing a lightness of spirit and heart can make the path easier. Become curious. Okay, so you don't like yourself. Really? Why? When did that begin? Who are you beneath this belief? Can you accept that you don't like yourself? Can you go to, I totally love the part of me that doesn't like me? Or can you become willing to love the part of you that doesn't like you? Can you even begin to imagine, either in the future or the past, a time when you did like yourself? What was that like? How is it different? Very often, there will be a conversation like, but you don't know how bad I am, or you don't know what I've done. Cool. Want to tell me? Okay. I love you. You are lovable. You are loved. Tell me more. Who are you deep inside there? What is your secret hope or dream? Let's activate that and clear what comes up around it. When we take on responsibility that may or may not be ours to do, but we forget ourselves in the process of that, we do get lost. Our hearts get buried, our needs get put aside, and our ability to put ourselves first gets forgotten. If you don't take care of yourself first, you won't have anything left to give others. The first rule in caretaking is to take care of yourself first. It's so important to get caretaker support. Take time to nurture yourself. Take time to rest. Nourish your body, mind, and spirit. Take time to remember who you are, outside of the role you find yourself in. For Lily, she gets to remember what makes her heart sing. She gets to choose again and again to like and love herself, even in the midst of the experience of despising herself. Feels like an oxymoron, but it works. Remember to ask yourself why you believe what you believe, and that feelings are only energy in motion. Let them flow, even when they feel ugly. Tell the truth about what you are experiencing. Do it in a safe place, and then choose again. By the way, Lily has come to not only like herself again, but to truly love herself. She still has moments when she wants to forget, but she has enough tools and experience now to catch herself and come back to love. She is loving her life and doing what brings her joy. When she has to go back into caretaking mode, which does happen, she does not lose herself in it. She is totally present and then takes care of herself first, so she can be present to her charge. Choose love. Choose peace. Choose gratitude. Find it. Memorize it. And it will change your life. I promise.